te artham. Rigveda 3.5. Ubhayatra te artham. Artha means goal. Meaning is one. Another one is artha is goal or the target. So it says your target is at two places. Ubhayatra. Ubhaya means two. You have got two targets to meet in your life. One is, of course, the material one, what you have been telling it. The other one is the moral one, what you are telling. So these are two targets which you have to achieve. We have to keep in our focus these two things. We have to achieve both, and a balance should be achieved. Only then life becomes meaningful. Now, many people who are spiritually oriented, they denounce material world. And there is Vairagya, leave this is Maya, there is nothing in this, you have to be spiritually progressing. They speak about that. That is also lopsided because they ignore the material world. And the other extreme is what you are telling. We are emphasizing on the material developments and discoveries, and the spiritual moral values, we just forget about it. Now, that's also not right. Real life is a balance between the two, and that's what exactly Vedas tell us. Your goal or your target or your focus has to be two places. One is the material thing, other one is the spiritual thing. Both we have to balance. And only those persons who balance these two will definitely feel life excellent. Will experience life as a beautiful journey. All other people who are all lopsided, they are misguided and they misguide others also. So your observation is perfectly right. And the answer also is ready there, and what it has to be also is explained. Then we were seeing...
Sharmaji.
Tell me.
Sorry, Sharmaji. I have one question. Can you, if not this class, next class, can you explain what avataras?
Sure. If you want it now itself, we can start it, no problem.
Can you please?
Sure. I will finish up this, what we started. Then we will go for your question.
Okay.
Bhishakbhyo Bhishaktara Apaha. Atharva 19.2.3. The doctor of all doctors is water. That's what it means. The doctor of doctors is water. Now, few things already I have told you, but I would like to draw your attention again at this juncture. That is, Vedas have spoken about life exhaustively. Everything that is required for life is there in Vedas. Maybe it is just 4 Vedas and 20,000 odd mantras. And I was surprised how they have covered the whole domain of human life within this. It's a wonderful thing. But there they speak of one particular thing, that is, everything what we need for life is explained, is there, but they are all in seed form. So the difference is that. They are all in the seed form, what are all required. Everything needed for life. With reference to Sat, with reference to Satchit, with reference to Satchidananda, whatever is required, they are all there, but they are in capsule form. This is very important thing you have to remember. In capsule form, everything is there. Nothing is left, exhaustive. Now, when a thing is in capsule form, what next? Then we are allowed to take that capsule and elaborate. And that is our role. It is there already, but with the help of that, taking that as a base, taking that as a cue, then we have to elaborate it, we have to expand it and apply it to our life. And that part is on us. That role we have to take, of expanding it, of elaborating it and applying it to our life. And a mantra is there already to tell us that. Tantum tanva rajasa bhanumanvihi. That we will discuss later, I am just quoting it. Jyotish matah patho raksha dhiya kritan. It says, whatever is told here, you have to expand it. Because everything is in capsule form here. So whatever is capsule form, for our application, that capsule form is not sufficient. So you have to elaborate it, you have to expand it and apply it to your life. But take care. See, that's the one what it says. That's the beauty of it. He says, take care. Whatever you are expanding at whatever you are elaborating should not be against well-established truths. Just because I want to expand, I cannot expand it as I like. Whatever I want to expand, it has to be in accordance with, in tune with already established facts and truths. Within that framework, yes, you can expand, you can elaborate, you can enlarge and apply it to your life. Once again, in not against well-established facts and truths. So I am telling this piece of mantra what we are seeing now is about hydrotherapy. That word hydrotherapy is not there, but it's exactly that. How water can be utilized as a preventive and curative factor with reference to our health. When I say health, once again clarity is required. Now this I am taking from the Ayurveda, which is a branch of Veda. So there they speak of health, they define health. And the definition of health what Ayurveda has given is even today surpasses the definition given by WHO. WHO has got its own definition of health. Earlier the definition of health of WHO was so simple and incomplete. They said lack of disease is health. That was their first definition. Then later they found out it was very insufficient and they said a lack of diseases and then proper functioning of the organs of the body, then physical health, mental health. Then they said your concern for social well-being is also part of health. So many things they have expanded. But all these things, even before WHO came into, hundreds of years before even WHO came into existence, is explained in Ayurveda. And in that, they one aspect I am telling, other things we'll discuss sometime later. It says, Samadoshaha. Samadosha is an element of health. Now, dosha is those things in us, when disturbed, they will be the cause of disease. Physical, mental, everything. With reference to this, Sat Sharira. And of course, it can be extended to even the Manas, Satchit, not Satchit, Sharira, Indriya, Manas. So it refers to the health of the Sharira, Indriya, and also Manas. Totally put together, it is Sat. So there they say Samadoshaha, that is, three important things are there, which when disturbed cause health. So there should be an equilibrium between the three. And they are called as doshas. And what are those three? That is Vata, Pitta, Kapha. That's the terminology. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Now this Vata, Pitta, Kapha, I am not able to find an equivalent thing in English. Sorry. Any translation I make will not convey the whole meaning of these Sanskrit words. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. I will try to explain it a little. Now, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, they are all based on the concept of Panchabhuta. Panchabhutas. Of course, Panchabhutas I have explained earlier. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi I have explained. Now here, the combination of Akasha and Vayu is called as Vata. Akasha plus Vayu is equal to Vata. Then Agni is equal to Pitta. Single one. Agni and Pitta. They are the same. Then Jala plus Prithvi is equal to Kapha. Jala plus Prithvi is equal to Kapha. So in Kapha, I find the qualities of Jala as well as Prithvi. And in Pitta, I find the qualities of Agni. And in Vata, I find the qualities of Akasha and Vayu. This is a simple way of understanding it. So the 5 elements in Ayurveda has been brought down to 3 dosha. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And they're very clear. The basic tenet of Ayurveda is any disease is because of these 3. Imbalance between these 3, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. They are not harmonious, they are not in equilibrium, so all diseases come. Starting from common cold to cancer. Any disease. And this statement is exhaustive. Any disease, all diseases, without any exception, all diseases are caused because of derangement of these 3, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. If they are in equilibrium, that is a state of health. That's one feature of health. There are the other features also. This they call it as Samadoshaha. Sama means equilibrium. Now here in this piece of Veda mantra they are telling diseases caused due to imbalance in Vata. Diseases caused due to imbalance of Pitta. Diseases caused due to imbalance of the dosha Kapha. So when I say diseases caused by Vata, Pitta, Kapha means I have covered all diseases. Now all this can be cured, all these diseases can be prevented with the use of water. That's what it means. So that is the expense of hydrotherapy. If there is Vata dosha, yes, you can use water. If there is Pitta dosha or diseases caused by imbalance of Pitta, you can use water. If there is a problem which is caused by Kapha dosha, it can be cured with the help of water. Water, water, water. The only thing is, how well we use it is a question. In what way, when and how. That was a simple example I will give you. Say Vata dosha. Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Now this Vata, Pitta, Kapha have got their own special functions in the body, in the mind. So I will tell it in the reverse order. Kapha first. Kapha, the main role of it is Sangrahana. Sangrahana is to accumulate, to consume, to store. That is the main function of Kapha. If a person has got a tendency to store materials, yes, that is Kapha which is working. The same thing can be extended to mental activity also. If a person is curious and wants to collect as far as possible information and knowledge, yes, it is Kapha oriented. Collection, Sangrahana is the main feature of Kapha. Then coming to next on Pitta, the main function of Pitta is to assimilate. To assimilate. Whatever has been collected will be assimilated and made one's own. It transforms it to fit the structure of the Sharira Indriya Manas. Assimilation, and the Sanskrit word for it is Satmikarana. Sa-atmikarana. Satmikarana. It is transformed to suit that particular person. Then last one, Vata. It is for discharging, throwing out. So that is called as Nishkasana. Nishkasana. Sha is Murdhanya. Nishkasana. Sangrahana, Satmikarana, Nishkasana. accumulating, assimilating and discharging waste. These are the basic things what we have got. Now in all these three processes, water plays a major role. For the collection and accumulation process, we need water. If that water is not in a balanced state, then I will not be able to collect, I will not be able to hold anything in the body as well as in the mind. So to hold it, to collect it, to store it, yes, we need kapha, and that kapha is jala plus prithvi, so apaha is there. So for all kapha problems, physical or mental, yes, water is a cure. It balances. Mainly when that kapha is in shortage, when water is supplied, of course water is jala plus prithvi, so that water element which is in shortage will be supplied and the balance will be maintained. Now coming to pitta, in all pitta problems we find a great shortage of water. That's why the burning element is more. Pitta is Agni. So more water is supplied, that pitta will come down. That Agni, the counter thing what we have got for Agni is Jala. So for all pitta problems we do it. And at the same time, this Jala is capable of producing fire. We have seen hydroelectricity. Electricity is fire, and we get it from water. It's possible, provided we use it in the right way. So if there is some problem with pitta, if it's on the higher side, okay, we supply water and cool it down. Or if it is in short supply, then also we supply water and produce heat. It's a very rough way of explaining. I'm not going into the very details or the step-by-step things, but I'm just giving a rough idea about it. Now Vata, the main function of Vata is to throw out the toxins, discharges. Now if there is any clog in this process, okay, the simple word what we use for it is constipation. And a person who is suffering from constipation, if the person uses water in sufficient quantity, all those clogs will be removed and the toxins will go out of the body well. Again water. So in general, whatever problem we have got for kapha, pitta and vata, all the three can be remedied by using water in the right way. What does a doctor do? Whatever problems we have got, he solves it. To solve it, he uses his own methods. And the best medicine that he can use is water. Therefore, it is a doctor of doctors. Now, explanations, what I have given, they are very crude. I tell it again. But though it is crude at this level, if you go deep into it, yes, it can be explained very well and scientifically, and that's the essence of whole hydrotherapy. And it is used as preventive as well as curative medicine. Both properties it has got, preventive as well as curative. A person who drinks per day, say at least 3 to 4 liters of water every day. Of course, at the proper junctures, in proper dose. If a person consumes 3 to 4 liters of water, that person will be very, very healthy. Preventive. Even if there is a problem, if a person uses the same water in a different way, yes, he will be cured of it. One is drinking water, then using hot water. So we add to it little heat, and that hot water is used. It has got several properties to cure so many things. Inflammations. Depending on the nature of it, you can use cold water, cold pack, or you can use hot water and hot pack. Yes, we get relief. Say we got some kitch in the throat, for example. So externally I may put a cold pack, it gets cured. Or maybe a little warm water, I gargle and throw it out. Yes, it gets cured. Toothache, we have got. Generally, some examples I'm giving, stray examples. So if you take cold water and keep it there, maybe for 2 or 3 minutes, and throw it out, that toothache will come down just with the help of cold water. Say I have got headache, for example. Take cold bath, it comes down. So for every problem like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, we can list out, and for everything we can use water for its prevention as well as cure. And it's a very big branch of medical science called as hydrotherapy. Say there is constipation. Say for that sake, drinking water is one. Other thing where we can remedy it is taking enema. Enema is taking the water into the colon. So when water gets into the colon, after some time, it comes out along with all the waste products that are clogged. It's a system of medicine, water. So there are so many ways of using this water, as cold water, as hot water, or in combination with say even mud. So mud and water we mix, we get a paste, and that paste can be applied for different parts of the body for curing different ailments. Ultimately we get the one idea that water is a powerful element which can be used to prevent and cure all diseases. That all is very important. But when and how, okay, that's a different issue. Usually we call them as naturopaths. That's who treat things using nature. Nature means the 5 elements. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi. Using only these 5 elements, they take care of the health of a person, physical and mental. They take care of the health without any other medicine. Among these 5, water is at the top because the content in our body, mainly it is kapha, that is Jala Tattva and Prithvi Tattva. They are predominant in our Sharira, in our Sat Sharira, Jada Sharira. Because Prithvi element is predominant, we call our Sharira as Parthiva Sharira. You must have heard that word, Parthiva Sharira. So Parthiva is from Prithvi, that is predominant. And their next predominant element, or both are same, or sometimes water will be more, that is Jala Tattva. Even on the globe also we observe it. 70% of the globe is occupied by water. Land is only 30%. That is Prithvi. So the main content, what we have got in the Sharira and also on the globe, it is Kapha Tattva. That is Jala plus Prithvi. So Jala has got a major role to play on the globe, in the body, in mind. And Jala Tattva is responsible for a thing to be volatile. Volatile. Volatile means that which can flow. It is volatile. So this volatility is very much required for human life, physically as well as mentally. That volatile nature is not there. The whole body becomes stiff. Yes, that's the problem with arthritis and other things. it becomes stiff. But if that volatility is there, yes, it will be free for movements and other things. And the one what is responsible for it is this Jala Tattva. At all our joints in the body, for example, we do have the lubricants. And because of lubricants only, I am able to move my elbow or maybe my knee or any such thing. Once there is some problem with those lubricants, yes, pain will start and knee transplantation will be required. It's all medical science what I am telling. Now for the lubricant to be sufficient and for the joints to move comfortably without pain, without jerks, yes, we need Jala Tattva. Jala Tattva is the essence of all lubricants. So like this, we can go on explaining and linking the problems and the preventive methods and the curative methods in one way or the other to the liquid. That's Jala Tattva. Vishebhyo Vishaktaro Apaha. In that sentence, all these things are there in capsule form. We have to elaborate. And this elaboration, as I told you, should not be against established facts. So whatever I told so far, they all have got support. They all are sanctioned by an elaborate system of medicine, an elaborate system of anatomy, an elaborate system of pharmacopoeia. Yes, they all support it. So in tune with those established facts, we have to explain, we have to elaborate and make the best use of it. So I have tried a very crude way of doing it. And if we find time, if we study deeply in this life, yes, we will be able to understand so many things. So many practical things which we can apply. As Shanti Madam was asking about this Avatara Vada, okay, we'll just discuss about it in the Vedic light. Now, what is this word Avatara means? What does this word Avatara means?
Avatarana comes from Avatarana.
Yes. Exactly, that is coming down.
Yes.
Something is there at the top. So that climbs down, and the climbing down is what is called as Avatara or Avatarana. So the opposite is to go up, that is called Aroha. Arohana. Arohana is to go up. Avarohana or Avatara is coming down. Gamana is to come. Agamana is to come. Nirgamana is to go. Arohana, Avatarana, Agamana, Nirgamana. So all this refers to going up, coming down, coming to a place and going out of a place. So the common thing in all this is movement. Movement is the common thing. To go up, that is to move up. To come down, to move down. To come is to move closer. To go is to move away. So what is the common thing in all these four? It is movement. Now, whenever we speak of movement, it applies to only Sat and Satchit, and this movement is not there for Satchidananda. Movement itself is not there. It's not difficult to understand, it's very simple, because Satchidananda is omnipresent. It has occupied the entire space, entire universe. So it has no place to move at all. It is fixed. It is fixed. It is like an obese person occupying a small chair. He is fixed to the chair, an obese person. If he moves, the chair also moves. So there is no place at all for this omnipresent Satchidananda to move. It can never move. So when I say it can never move, Arohana, Avarohana, Agamana, Nirgamana, nothing is there for Satchidananda. It's there only for Satchit and Sat, which are not omnipresent. Simple logic. For moment, we need space. For moment, we need something where it is not there. Say, for example, you are on the first floor of a building, and definitely you are not in the ground floor. So you can move down from first floor to ground floor. But if there is a person who has occupied first floor and ground floor at the same time, there is no question of coming down because already he is there. It is as simple as that. The logic is so simple. In the same way, you are there and not here, so the person can move closer from there to here. Yes, it is possible. But if a person has occupied there and here at the same time, how can the person come? He is already there. And that is the case of an omnipresent thing. Omnipresent Satchidananda. I am here, I am not there. Then I can move away from here to there. Possible. But if I am here and there at the same time, there is no movement for me. I am here as well as there. And that is what we call as omnipresence, and that is Satchidananda. So the basic thing is to go up, to come down, to go there, to come here. All these activities are not at all there for Satchidananda. It is all in relation to Satchit and Sat we can say, but not Satchidananda, because Satchidananda is omnipresent. It's very clear. It's very clear and very logical. Yes, you wanted to say something?
No, Sharmaji, then what is this, like when there is a dharma, God takes birth, that dharma is established.
Right.
How do we...
When adharma is there, to establish dharma, when suffering is there, to alleviate suffering, if I am coming again and again, it is a word of Satchit, not Satchidananda.
Okay.
As a Satchit, I say, okay, I don't want salvation for me, I don't want moksha or mukti. I want to take birth again and again so that I can wipe off the tears of my fellow beings. Yes, that could be my word, that could be my ideal, that could be my nobility. That could be a sign of my pious way of life. But this doesn't apply to God because coming is not there. Whether dharma is there, whether adharma is there, Satchidananda cannot come because he is already there. That's the omnipresence. So saying that I will come again and again, the very sentence, if it is told by Satchidananda, is meaningless. It can be told by Satchit, fine, we have no problem. Sat cannot say it at all. Therefore, Sat is not in the picture. Satchidananda also is not in the picture. And for this statement what you are referring, it is wonderful for a Satchit. It shows its nobility. I don't want my salvation, I don't want my mukti. I want to come again and again, I want to take birth again and again. Because I want to give a little happiness to my fellow beings. Okay, that's a great humanitarian feeling. And it is only can be uttered by a Satchit. For Satchidananda, it's always there. So I will come again, the very sentence itself is meaningless.
Then Sharmaji, so Rama, Krishna, so they are all?
They are all Purushottama. Purushottama is the word what we use. That is, they are great human beings. Great human beings. And they were historical persons.
Yes.
That is, Rama was a historical person.
Yes.
Krishna was a historical person. Buddha was a historical person. And maybe we can consider Parashurama as also a historical person. That's the end of it. All other avatars, what they explain, they don't have a source in the Vedas, number one. They are all concoctions what we find in Puranas. So there's a very major difference. What we have got in Vedas, they are facts, they are truths, and they can be verified, they are logical, rational. But these qualities we don't find in the Puranas. Puranas, most part of the Puranas, they are all fictions. So I cannot take fiction as a fact. So all this Dashavatara concept is fiction. There we have got several other paradoxes, I'll tell you. Okay, as you said, God has takes birth, fine. And when he has promised to take birth, when there is adharma. When there is adharma, when there is some bad things going on, to rectify it, to purify it, and to punish the culprits, yes, I'll take birth. Now please understand, all the 10 births, as explained in Purana, they've all taken place in India only, not elsewhere. Am I right? So what does it mean? The dirtiest place that you can find in the world is India, because God has taken 10 births here to cleanse it. See, it's a very peculiar thing. Is it so? Don't you find adharma in other places on the globe? It's there. It's there. Then why God did not take birth there? Maybe in Russia, maybe in Pakistan, not Pakistan, maybe in China, or maybe in some other place. All births are taken only in India. Because the most dirtiest thing on the globe is India. It's not palatable, it is not logical, it is not rational. The mind clearly says something is wrong when you are speaking of this. Okay, when I generally go to lectures, especially to schools and colleges, I get very peculiar questions from the students, and they are all genuine. The questions are genuine. So I'll give one small or one or two examples for that. In one of the lectures where I had been, a student got up and said, "Sir, where do you find the sea, ocean?" The simple answer is, okay, ocean or sea is on the globe. On the globe, we have got this ocean or sea, whatever it is. Are you sure, sir? He asked me. I said, yes, perfectly right. The seas and the oceans, they are all on the globe. Then I've got a question, sir. What is that? We find the sea or ocean on the globe. So in the ocean which is on the globe, how can I immerse the globe? Peculiar question. The ocean is on the globe, and in that ocean, how can I immerse the globe? It's a very peculiar thing. But that's the story what they say in case of Hiranyaksha. That is when God has taken the Varaha Avatara, the big form. That is the story. They say this Hiranyaksha immersed this globe in ocean, and God took the form of Varaha, and with the help of his what you call Danta. Danta is not teeth, but what's the word? Immediately I'm not getting. Tusk. English word. For the what elephants have got?
Tusk.
Danta.
It's a tusk.
Tusk, right. So with the help of that tusk, the Varaha brought the earth from under the ocean upwards. Now how do you explain this? Earth is supporting ocean, and it's not the other way. So in the earth is supporting ocean, in that how can we immerse, how can we submerge earth? Very illogical, very irrational. Now that's a question the student asked me. How is it possible, sir? The answer is a cock and bull story, forget about it, it's not a fact. That's the only answer I have got. Then, in another lecture like this, a student asked me, "Sir, I am traveling in a country place, a village like thing. So a lot of agricultural lands are there. And in one place, for example, a person has harvested peanuts, groundnuts. So it's a big heap of groundnuts, and a small boy goes there with a very small bag and asks that landlord, can I take some groundnuts? So that landlord who was standing there looked at the small boy and the small bag he had. Maybe maximum that bag may hold 1 or 2 kgs of groundnuts, that's all. And I said, okay, small boy asking, and lot of harvest I got of groundnuts. Okay, you take it, he said. Now what this boy does is, he doesn't take the groundnuts in that small bag what he has. Instead, he brings out from the bag a big sack. And that sack may contain, can hold 10 to 20 kgs of groundnuts. And he starts filling it up. Now what will the landlord do? Or if you are the landlord, what will you say? Very simple. We say no, no. I allowed you to take the groundnut in that bag what I saw, which holds 2 or 3 kgs. But now you are bringing out a big sack out of it and taking more. No, this is not right. This is not a virtue. This is cheating. Yes or no? A simple thing. Common sense answer what we do. Now this is what happened in Vamanavatara. Asked Bali for 3 steps. Bali said, okay. By looking at the small feet of Vamana, a small boy. But this fellow, when he said yes, sir, he grew big and measured the earth and heaven and other things. Now the boy is asking me, sir, is he justified? Is he a god? Should we worship him like that? Who is a cheat? Now what's the answer I have got? Sorry boy, it's a fiction, don't worry about it. I have no other. Is he a god? Shows something, does something else. And this is Purana. This is Purana. So like this, when you analyze every one of them, except these, Rama, Krishna and Buddha, all other things is 100% cock and bull story and has no value whatsoever. Treachery you find, cheating you find. And if these are the qualities of God, I am sorry, we don't want such gods. We don't want such avatar. It's not beneficial to anyone. Then what about Rama, Krishna and Buddha? Okay, we call them as Purushottama. That's the word what we use. Purushottama. Purushottama is an ideal person. An ideal person. Rama is an ideal person. He is a role model for us. Krishna is an ideal. He is a role model for us. Buddha is an ideal person. He is a role model for us. But what we do? We make them gods and say God can never be a role model for human beings and happily forget about it. Because he is not a human being. He is a God. Only God can do something. I am not a God. I am an ordinary human being. So I cannot do it. I cannot emulate what he has done. Now that is what is happening. We worship Rama, but never practice the principles upheld by Rama. We worship Krishna, but whatever Krishna did, we never follow. Because he is a God. I am an ordinary human being. So this works against leading a better human life. But they were human beings. They were human beings and they showed how the Vedic principles can be adopted in life and it is possible. That's why they become our role model. They have followed strictly the principles and guidelines given in the Vedas. Vedanuyayi, a follower of Veda. If I can say, we have got good examples in Rama, good examples in Krishna, we have got good example in Buddha.
But
tell me.
But Vedas, in all these Vedas, there is no reference of Rama, Buddha and Krishna, correct?
Because they were earlier. Rama, Krishna and Buddha, they came later. Vedas are earlier.
Correct.
So reference of Rama, Krishna or Buddha is not there in the Vedas. But the word Rama, Krishna is there in Veda, and because the words had a very good meaning, the parents of Rama and Krishna named them as Rama and Krishna. But whatever Rama, Krishna name you find in Veda, that's not these historical Rama and Krishna. It's the other way around. Because the word in the Veda was excellent, they selected it to name their children. It's the other way around. But many mistake that we find Rama and Krishna name in the Vedas and they are speaking about this Rama and Krishna, this avatara, so many things they say, but that's not a fact. Vedas are earlier and Rama and Krishna are historical persons who have come later. So the origin of their names is there in the Vedas, but their history is not there in the Vedas. Okay. Now, we call this Rama and Krishna not only as Purushottama, another name is added to it. For Rama, it is Maryada Purushottama, we say. Maryada Purushottama. So for that Purushottama, we add this Maryada. And when we come to this Krishna, we call him as Yogeshwara Krishna. Yogeshwara Krishna. They are the adjectives of the qualifications we add to them. Now what is this Maryada Purushottama? Maryada, generally we understand it as in the colloquial language as respect. The respect what we give, the reverence is called as Maryada. But the real meaning of the word Maryada is a border, a boundary. It's a border or a boundary. That is the actual meaning of it. Now this boundary or border what we have got is not to be trespassed. Is not to be trespassed. Now these boundaries physically, of course, we have it on land, maybe even on water also. We will have these boundaries and we say this is the territory, this is the end of this land, and after that it is somebody's property. Like that we differentiate with the help of these boundaries or borders. In the same way, we do have unwritten boundaries or borders between persons also. So between two persons, there is an unwritten boundary. And as long as we keep ourselves within that boundary, the relationship with the two people will be wonderful. If by chance, by mistake, or purposefully somebody crosses that boundary, yes, we have got all problems. This is our common experience. Say we have got two friends, A and B. So between these two friends, yes, there is all relationship, friendship, everything. But at the same time, there is a boundary between the two, a territory, a line, unwritten. And if anybody crosses that line, the friendship will get lost. Say simple, for example, as long as they are friends, okay, they give a party to A, party to B, fine, and they are wonderful. But if B enters into the financial things of A, then A will not like it. He says, it is my business, you don't enter into my financial affairs. So that financial affairs is the border or the line which B should not trespass. And in the same way, A also should not trespass. However good they are friends, they may be very close friends, but when it comes to the question of money, now A doesn't allow B into his territory, B doesn't allow A into his territory. That is the borderline. But if that borderline is forcibly crossed, then the relationship or friendship between A and B will collapse. So this we call it as Maryada. Now Rama is called as Maryada Purushottama because he respected these boundary lines with all the people he came into contact with his father, with his mother, with his stepmother, with his brother, with his friends, with his subjects. With everyone he maintained that relationship in a wonderful way. So he was called as Maryada Purushottama, one who respected these boundary lines with everyone else. He was so careful, he was so alert in maintaining it. And he never allowed any relationship getting strained. That's the greatness of Rama. And all this relationship he maintained in a human way, in a simple way. That is the greatness of him. Now coming to Krishna, he is called as Yogeshwara Krishna. He was a master of yoga. And nobody practiced yoga to that extent. He was a master. He is an ideal for everyone. Now here, 2 or 3 things I want to say. The information or knowledge about Krishna we get from 2 sources. This is very important. One source is Mahabharata. So in Mahabharata, Vyasa has documented many things about Krishna. And we have got another source from where we get a lot of information about Krishna, and that is the Bhagavata Purana. Two sources. One is Mahabharata, another one is Bhagavata Purana. Now, the information what we have today, it is all mixed up. We are not able to differentiate whether it is from Mahabharata or whether it is from Bhagavata. We are not able to differentiate. Even scholars, I am very sorry to say this, even scholars. And to be specific even about that, the people who are related to ISKCON, they claim that they know everything about Krishna and Balarama, Krishna consciousness, international organization. Unfortunately, even they are not able to differentiate the source from where they have got the information, whether it's from Mahabharata or whether it is from Bhagavata Purana. No, they are not able to differentiate. Now, whole problem is this. Most of the things what we get from the origin Mahabharata, they are facts, most of them. And the information what we get or the source Bhagavata Purana, 99% of them are fictions. And that's it. So the information, if I have got something about Krishna, a part of it is fact, a part of it is fiction. Fiction part is from Bhagavata Purana and fact part is from Mahabharata. If you want to know about Krishna, we have to definitely segregate these two things, fiction and fact, and only fact to be taken and fiction we have to eliminate. Sometimes what has happened is they have taken the fact from Bharata and interpreted it in the form of Purana. That is another complication. That also you have to understand. Okay, in this explanation is on the Bhagavata Purana basis, leave it. The original thing is from Mahabharata, we take only that much. I'll give a few examples, then you will be able to appreciate what I am telling more. Now, in Bhagavata Purana, they say, he stole butter from everyone's house in Gokulam. That is what they say. That is, Krishna was a thief. But this is from Bhagavata Purana and there is no reference to it in Mahabharata. He was not a thief. He is a naughty boy, that's fine. Being naughty is different, being a thief is different. Then they say, he had 8 wives, Ashtamahishi. So he had 8 wives, Rukmini, Satyabhama, etc., etc. And it is from Bhagavata Purana and we don't have such a thing in Mahabharata. But in Mahabharata we do have some interpolations, there we find it. That's a different issue. But he was in Ekapatni Vrata and Krishna's wife was Rukmini and Rukmini alone. This they have distorted, this they have twisted. Then in Bhagavata Purana we have got, one day he was moving in a pond, several ladies were taking bath and he stole their saris and went up a tree. This is a story what we have got. But this is in Bhagavata Purana and no such reference is there in Mahabharata. So it says he was a debauch. He was a debauch. That's what we find in Bhagavata Purana, but here we don't find it. Some differences happen. Then they speak of Krishna having 16,000 wives. This is another story what we have got. 16,000 wives. Now the word what they use for it is, he was a pati to all of them. So when you say pati to all of them, the major mistake what they do is, pati is equated to husband. That's the thing. That's a problem. Pati doesn't mean husband. Pati means, as you have seen, parakshane. Parakshane is one who protects. It's very simple to understand it. Think of Rashtrapati. How do you understand Rashtrapati? You understand it as the husband for the whole nation? Meaningless. Rashtrapati is one who protects the nation. So, Pati means one who protects and not husband. Of course, in a narrow sense, One who protects a family is called as a pati. He is the protector of a family. Of course, he can also be called as a husband. But husband is not the primary meaning. Primary meaning is the one who protects. So Krishna protected 16,000 women. He was not a husband to them. It so happened that another cruel king had held them as captives, and Krishna released them and rehabilitated them and gave them a life. He gave them guidance. He helped them to stand on their own legs. So he protected them, and he was called as the protector of 16,000 women and not a husband of 16,000. Now the husband element has come from Bhagavata Purana. The rehabilitator element has come from Mahabharata. We should be able to segregate. And if you study Mahabharata deeply and understand the different facets of Krishna and different aspects of his life, we find that he was a great politician. A great politician. Not the politics we know today. The politics we know today is dirty politics. But the politics, what we find in that, it is a chaste, it is a value-based politics. That's what he was into, and I am the expert in that. And we got a beautiful word for it in Kannada. In Sanskrit we call it as Mutsaddi. Have you heard of that word, Mutsaddi? Do you have any word closer to this in Marathi, sir?
It is the same word.
Mutsaddi.
It is the same word.
Mutsaddi.
Yeah.
It's the same.
The same word.
Same, yeah.
A just politician. Ah, yes. Krishna was that. Krishna was a kingmaker. But what you find in Bhagavata Purana is Krishna is an ordinary person running behind girls. You see, he is a great politician who wanted to establish peace in society, and he has been looked at in a very cheap way in Bhagavata Purana. So we should be able to differentiate these things. Unless we differentiate these things, we will not get the right picture of Krishna. And he cannot be our ideal. But if you study things mainly in the eyes of Mahabharata, of course, minus interpolations, yes, Krishna is Yogeshwara. He was a master of yoga. And he works out to be our good ideal. And he was a historical person and never an avatar of God. Same thing with Buddha. Buddha observed the whole life, and he was moved by illness, he was moved by old age, he was moved by death. So these were the three things which really troubled him, and he worked his whole life to understand these three things. Finally he realized, as far as this illness is concerned, it is for Sat part. Sharira, Indriya, Manas, they get into problems. Now because they get into illness, it is their very nature, because they are Sat, so there is nothing to be worried about. One day or the other, this enters into old age because of wear and tear. So nothing to be worried. And one day it is going to die. That is, one day the soul gets separated from the Satchit, therefore not to be worried. So he became, or he maintained or attained equilibrium with reference to this illness, old age and death. He said, yes, as far as our human life is concerned, or as far as any life is concerned, along with human and birds and other animals and other things, these three are imminent, inevitable. They cannot be cured. They cannot be avoided. Yes. So when they cannot be avoided, when they cannot be cured, the only way left to us is to endure it, to accept it as a fact and live with it, and not to worry about it. That's the realization. And he said, more you bind to the world, the materialistic world, more troubles you have to experience. At the same time, I cannot leave out this material world also. So how you have to lead your life? You should be in the material world, but unbound. You are with it, but you are not attached to it. You are not hooked to it. Now that's the best way of leading life. That's his teaching. Wonderful. It is an ideal for us, a lesson for us. And it tells us how we have to lead our lives. He was a historical person. So Rama, Krishna, Buddha is okay as historical persons. They are our role models. They gave us a lot of things to learn and understand about this life. Excellent. But for that, all other things are cock and bull stories. They claim that it has got some moral in it. Okay, tell the moral straight. Simple. Why create confusions by using fiction and finally telling that fiction is greater than truth? No, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. Next. When they speak of Avatara, they say one more thing. It was essential for God to take birth and come down because He wanted to punish bad people. A very simple answer is there. Our question is God omnipresent? Yes. They say yes. If God is omnipresent, He is also in the heart of the bad people.
Yes.
Maybe Ravana, maybe Hiranyaksha, maybe Hiranyakashipu, whoever it is. So He is omnipresent, He is there even in the heart of the bad people. He could have stopped that heartbeat. He is there. Why take the birth? Why come? Why fight and all those things? Not required. He is already there in the heart of the bad people. So He can will and stop that heart beating and He is dead. What is the necessity for Avatara? For his logical question, they don't have an answer. So this whole Avataravada is a cock and bull story. And in Bhagavad Gita, that is whatever the preaching that Krishna gave. There is one sentence you have to observe it very closely. There he says to Arjuna, you and me have taken lot of births and it is not possible to keep count of those births. ಅದೇನಿದು ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಅದು ಬಹುನಿ ಜನ್ಮ ನೀನೋ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಏನದು ಹೇಳುವ ಬಹುನಿ ಜನ್ಮಾನಿ ವ್ಯತೀತಾನಿ. We have taken lot of birth, you and me. That's what Krishna says. Let us assume Krishna was an avatara. Then that Krishna avatara is the 8th avatara. He should have said, mine is the 8th avatara and your avatars or your rebirths are countless. He should have said so. Cannot count up to 8. Was Krishna such a fool? It's very clearly said. Bhagavad Gita, you can see there. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna. Bahuni. Lot of births I have taken, lot of births we have taken. He cannot keep count of those things. It says very clearly there. That means Krishna was not an avatara. Then, another way of looking at it. Satchidananda is omnipresent. And it is nirakara. That is what the Vedas very clearly say, that I have shared with you several times. But Rama had an akara. Krishna had an akara. Buddha had an akara. Akara and nirakara cannot be together at the same time. Akara eliminates totally nirakara and nirakara totally eliminates akara. They are, in the mathematical language, they are mutually exclusive. If this is there, that is not there. If that is there, this is not there. It is very clear that God is omnipresent and God is formless. So when you say God is formless, it is very clear that Rama, Krishna or Buddha were not gods because they had form. And this question of birth and death is there only for Satchit. They are in the birth and death cycle. And maybe at one point or another they get out of it and experience Ananda, that is in the Moksha Sthiti. So, whichever has taken birth, whichever is living and whichever is prone to death one day, it is all Satchit and never Satchidananda. Because Satchidananda is beyond birth and death cycle, and it is responsible for establishing birth and death cycle for Satchis. It is not into it. So Satchidananda cannot get into this birth and death cycle, cannot come down to the cadre of Satchit. So this whole story of Avatara is something fictitious. These are the different ways of looking at things. But it doesn't mean that Satchidananda is not there. Satchidananda is there always, at all places, at all times. But taking a forum and doing certain things is not necessary for Satchidananda. Why? We call Satchidananda as omnipotent, another way of looking at it. Omnipotent means that which is capable of doing things without any tools. Without any tools, without any paraphernalia. But that limitation is there for human beings, for Satchit. Unless I've got an eye, I cannot see. Unless I've got an ear, I cannot listen. That's my limitation. But Satchidananda is capable of seeing everything, micro to macro, without eyes, without a tool. It is capable of listening to any sound without any range. Without the use of ears, it doesn't need an ear to listen. That's what we call it as Sarva Shakta, and that is the property of, that's one of the qualities of features of Satchidananda. Now, if that needs a body, that needs a father and mother, that needs a world where it has to come to do its work. Now that is Sarva Shaktitva or omnipotence is negated. It cannot happen. It cannot happen. The problem with this Avataravada is, whoever speak of these reincarnations of God, Dashavatara, they are totally ignorant of the nature of Satchidananda. That's the problem. If they understand the properties of Satchidananda, the feature of Satchidananda well, they never speak of this Avataravada. They say it's all cock and bull story. Avataravada is okay for only Satchit, excellent, but not with Satchidananda. A few things I have told you. Upon this, whatever they speak about Avataravada, you yourself can understand whether it's right or wrong, whether it is scientific or not, logical or not, rational or not. This is basic things what we have got. And whatever reason they give for Avatara, it doesn't fit Satchidananda, but it fits Satchit very well. Avatara 100% is there for Satchit. Avataravada for Satchidananda doesn't fit at all from any point of view. This is very clear when we make a deep study of Vedas. Otherwise, we will be lost in the thick jungle of Puranas and we can never find our way out. We should be very clear about it. Puranas are cock and bull stories. Vedas speak about truth. Vedas are a compendium of facts and realities. So the basic difference we have to understand, and the whole Avataravada is a product of Purana and not of Veda at any point of time. So if you think on these lines, yes, you'll be able to segregate what is Puranic and what is Vedic. That will help you a lot. And once again, as I say every time, whatever I have told is information and knowledge and experience, what I have studied, got from my teachers and my experience in study, and I am not forcing any of these things on you. You think over. God has given you also the thinking capacity and understanding capacity, and whatever you feel, finally, as yes, this sounds logical, this sounds rational, please take it. I have shared whatever I have got with me, and it is up to you to analyze it and to take whatever you want. But I promise one thing, if you take the Vedic things, you are safe. Because it is very much rational, it is very much humane, and it is very much scientific. That much I can promise. To take it or not to take it, yes, there is a problem. That is, we have been given to understand these Puranic things since our childhood. And only now we are exposed to, or an exposure you are getting for Vedas.
Yes.
So definitely there will be some confusion. I've been listening it for so many years. This is something new what I'm finding it. How can I accept it? Maybe such confusions could be there. Okay, to solve that is your own responsibility. What best I can do is what I have done, what I'm doing, and the best explanation I can give from my side. Other things, yes, it's left to you. And okay, after listening to all this, tomorrow you say, sir, still I believe that Avatara is wonderful. Excellent. I have no objection. It's up to you. It's up to you. But in the Vedic light, they never speak of Avataravada, and they are very clear that God is omnipotent, God is omniscient, God is omnipresent. So there is no question of Avataravada, and this Avataravada will not fit into this structure. It's all fictitious. Fictitious things, okay, they fit anywhere, without logic, without any rationality. Okay, so for this question of yours, I have tried my level best to share my study and understanding and the Vedic things.
Thank
So
you.
in that Vedic thing, one mantra we have got. When I come to the mantras, okay, once again I will give that mantra, and this question what you had asked, I will remind you there. Looking at that mantra, you'll be able to understand this better. That is maybe a few classes later.
Okay.
Because we have got many more pieces of mantras to study, which gives us a strong base to understand the mantras in full. So then the first mantra I will keep in my mind about this Avataravada only, and from that mantra only we will start. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you have got any question, please don't hesitate to ask it. If I know the answer, I will give you. If it is not there, all of us put together will search for the answer. That's
Sure.
all.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.